Today I'm going to mount these Dayton Audio Exciters behind this picture. I'm just moving into my new place and I'm still unpacking. I'm only days into this new place and I'm not fast, even remotely getting unpacked. But I got this picture hung on the wall yesterday, and just by accident, truly, and I mean this, by sheer accident, I was just picked a random box to unpack. Let's unpack this box today. And inside that box, I found two of these Dayton Audio Exciters that were left over from my last project where I installed 8, I think it was, 8 of these behind my drywall of my dining room, turning the wall itself into a speaker. The results of that were unexpectedly remarkable. Check that out in the video below. I'll link that for you. In that video, you might remember I promised to never open up drywall ever again without mounting more audio exciters behind. That's how impressed I was with the results. But this video, I'm making this video just as a spur of the moment thing. I haven't even done my hair for this video, but literally being just days into my new place and just hanging this picture 12 hours ago, late last night. I just picked up this picture, and I couldn't help not get it. I thought it was pretty fantastic, very reminiscent of Pink Floyd, The Wall, with the red brick down here and the planes. At least that's what I thought of initially when I first saw the picture. And for 20 bucks, hey, had no choice but to pick the thing up. But it's a hard board structure, and I think it might be ideal for some audio exciters. So let's mount these to the backside. If you've never seen this before, you're about to learn how to use audio exciters. And here's the whole lesson. They sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape, already pre-installed. You just sticky tape them to almost any surface and apply speaker wire to the 2 terminals, and bammo, you got yourself a makeshift speaker, and the results are usually quite staggering. So let's do that now. Let's get these mounted to the backside, get some wires installed, get some audio signal transferred to them, and hear what this thing sounds like. Hear what this thing sounds like. Let's dive in. So this is the backside of that same picture, and I'm going to install these, and it's remarkably easy. A couple of years ago, or maybe even more recently, Dayton Audio has changed their mounting system somewhat, and it's really quite brilliant. They have this new screw-off, here I'll show you, a new screw-off back panel, whereas before they just had, and they probably still have some models, that just had 3M double-sided sticky tape right here on the back of the voice coil. But now they have this screw-on adapter with the 3M tape. The benefit of the adapter, let's say we give this a try, and we mount these to the back of the speaker, back of the picture, and it sounds terrible. Well, not all is lost. Either you could just tear them off, tear off the tape and re-tape it somewhere. I would use 3M VHB, very high bond tape, so that it doesn't fall off with all the vibration. But you can just buy these, just new adapters, and just screw the driver off and put it onto your next project. So this is it. This is it. Now, this adapter also has 2 holes in the back, allowing you to screw the adapter plate to a surface. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna take off, exposing the 3M VHB tape. Instinct might tell you to put this right dead center of your panel, and that'll work. You're really not going to screw this up. But there is a very smart man, much smarter than me, who has done some studies as to the best position, and he has identified what works best. and he calls it 2/3, 1/3 of a. I won't get into the science. Watch his video. I'll link it below. I'm not terribly concerned about having the best possible spot and doing the research like he did, or just following his advice. But what advice I am going to follow is just avoid dead center. This is a very textured surface on the back. This might not actually work. This might not actually stick. Let's find out. So I'm happy there. That's where it's going for me. It's sort of sticking right already. It's just not dead center. It might be closer to 2/3, 1/3, like he suggested. There's no real science. I'm not using any science for the positioning. Now I'm just going to squeeze the, you know what, I'm going to take this off. I probably, because I don't want to press too hard on the voice coil. But I am going to press the mother living son of a, because it's a very textured surface. I'm not terribly convinced that's going to stick, but it's stuck. It's not coming off. Okay, I pressed the mother living. I suggest when placing it, because this is the top of the picture and this is the bottom of the picture, and I want my wire leads facing down because gravity naturally will pull my wires down. So I suggest you do what I did, and that is to orientate this with this attached, because there we go. As you see, it bottoms out with my leads facing down. Now I'm going to use this. So in my last project, I used 4 drivers per channel, and I wired them all together. 4 on the left were wired together, 4 on the right were wired together. But I'm just going to use this as a stereo pair coming out of the same surface, and I want to activate more of the surface. So I'm going to put this one down low and in a slightly different position than I put this. Because again, I'm not using science here. There. So not centered. I'm not looking for center. There we go. I like that position. I'm going to loosen this off so I can press the mother loving crap out of it. Of course, I don't have quite the leverage here. I'm going to move so I can get some more leverage. Pressing on that. Screw that back into place. And my leads face down. Now let's wire them up. Connect them to an amp. Okay, so I got some basic in-wall speaker wire ready to go. I'm just using bare wires right now. I'm not going to solder anything in place for the sake of the video, but long term, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we'll just call one side left and one side right. There, if you look closely, there are they've colored it red, so they've got a positive. They've identified something as positive. So
in my case, I'm going to make the white. Oh, this might be too fat. The speaker wire. There's too much speaker wire here. So I'm going to split it in half. And just pass it through. Oh, good. I need my glasses. Okay. Yeah, the terminal, the hole in there is quite tiny. And the speaker wire is too fat. Still too fat, even for half of that cable. So soldering certainly would be the better plan here. Tell you what, I'm just going to fast forward this portion so I can get it connected for you. Is half too much wire still? Let's find out. Alright, so here's one side. I'm just going to take 30% of the strands to pass through, and then I'll twist them all together. Okay, so white in this case is my positive.
all right, and the other ends we're going to connect to an AIYIMA A80. Let me go get that. Okay, this is my new AIYIMA A80. I'm going to use this for this video anyway. This won't be the amp that runs this long term. This is going to be the amp that runs my home theater system. I just got this. I just did an unboxing video. If you want to learn about the AIYIMA A80, check out that video. I'll put the link in the description below. And there's a lot more videos coming with around the AIYIMA A80. We're going to do some setup videos and some listening tests. This thing is stellar with the TPA 3255 amp chip inside. This is a powerhouse with a Bluetooth input. That's why I'm using this amp right now, so I can Bluetooth from my phone to the pitcher. The AIYIMA A80 is just a remarkable piece, and I'm so happy to have it. And this is what's going to be powering the speaker for today. Way more power. This AIYIMA A80 has way more power than those little speakers can tolerate. Let's get the speakers connected to the amp. And this wire, as you figured out, is way longer than it needs to be, but this is just for the video. This isn't an actual, I'm not actually installing this. Well, those are installed, but I'm going to be running this wire through the wall to the kitchen where I'll hide my amp in the cupboards. Not this amp. Okay, so in this case, it doesn't really matter what's left and what's right. All that matters is that we get polarity right. Okay, so we'll put that in there. Tighten that dog down. It's nice that the AIYIMA A80 comes with fat banana plugs. But because it's such a small amp, those banana plugs are reasonably close together, and my fat fingers really struggle in between, so I gotta just use my fingertips. Here's the beauty of this setup. That's it. It's done. It's set up. Speaker wire, power, because I'm, in this case, going Bluetooth. Let's plug this dog in. I can only play some royalty-free music, unfortunately, but I got my AIYIMA A80 connected to my iPhone, connected through Bluetooth, and wired to the two drivers. Let's take a listen. Sounds terrific. Like every other time I've played with audio exciters, always impresses me. However, in this case, I do hear a bit of a rattle or something in the picture frame that's rattling. Let's hang it on the wall and see if that changes anything. All right, I've quickly figured out exactly what's rattling on the picture, and that is this. This piece of the art, this portal air vent thing. It's quite noisy. It's gonna rattle again. I figured hanging it would stop the rattle, but let's take a listen now that it's hung. It amazes me. Every time I do a project with audio exciters, I get the same genuine grin on my face. It is shocking every time, the results. It's not audiophile grade by any means, but this blows away what the sound you get out of any Bluetooth speaker. The results are just impressive. The fact that you can hide this behind a picture, behind drywall, which I did in my other project. Check out the channel for that. I have plans to turn a glass window. I'm just going to attach one of these to a pane of glass in my window, turn my window into a speaker. The results are unbelievable. In this case, of course, I just have my temporary wires just dangling down under the picture, but I'm actually going to just push them right through this wall into my kitchen cabinets that are on the other side. And I'm just going to hide a little Class D amplifier inside my kitchen cabinetry. So the entire system will be wireless, will be vanished out of sight. It's just unbelievable. And for the cost, these audio exciters, I don't know, I can't remember the exact cost. They're cheap. They're so cheap. And these are the most expensive audio exciters that Parts Express sells. Go to parts-express.com to check out their wide selection of audio exciters. They have some, these are 40-watt models. They handle a lot of power. They have other models that handle as low as 10 watts. And I haven't tried them. I don't know how they sound, but by design, they're the same thing. It'd just be less powerful model. The 40-watt, the big powerful ones, are still so cheap. I can't remember the exact cost. I don't know, $22, $28, $32 per. It's so cheap, so cheap. I can't remember the exact cost. I'll link it in the description below. It's the first time I tried it, and maybe be the same reason you're trying it for the first time. It's so cheap, and your curiosity is getting to you. Try it out. It's unbelievable. It's fun, and it makes you happy.